been an interesting day for a lot of us, having a chance to either get called or to make calls, talking to family. What would we do without family? God's blessed a lot of us in so many ways. I'm glad that our country has this day set aside as Father's Day. I enjoy it. I enjoy the Mother's Day times too. Acts chapter 3 tonight. I find things interesting as I keep going back through the scriptures and looking at things just from a little different angle. Not to twist anything around, because it is what it is. And as a good friend of mine has said quite often, I've quoted him, God says what he means and he means what he says. But I just want to look at this situation from not just the growth of the gospel and the church, but what's happened to an individual that's being talked about here. Somewhat the highlight of the setting, but not the theme. So let's look at Acts 3 for just a moment, verses 1 and 2. As you're reading this with me, recall now the church just barely got started. So we're talking a day or two at the most after the church started. And it's not been that long since Jesus himself had been crucified and resurrected and has gone back to heaven. Everything's new. Absolutely, Christianity, they're not sure what's happening. And at best, they take their Jewish heritage with them into this, recognizing now that Jesus is the focus. So here's Peter and John being discussed in verse 1. Now Peter and John, two of the apostles, went up together to the temple at the hour of prayer, the 9th hour. They're Jewish people. They know what the customs are. They also know where the crowd is going to be. And as they're headed to the temple, as they probably did many times before at that hour, they're now going with a totally new purpose. Thinking about what's happening. Finally, going to the temple with the proper perspective in their mind. Whereas not long before that, as they were going up to the temple and Jesus was with them, they were looking around at everything and saying, boy, look at this grandeur of Jesus. And he said, hey, well, I'm paraphrasing a bit here. It won't be long before this whole place is destroyed. Not one stone will be on top of another. They didn't understand what was happening here, but now they have that purpose in mind. So they're going up to the temple. They've got to focus on what they're going to be doing. Verse 2 says, now a certain man, lame from his mother's womb, was carried, whom they laid daily at the gate of the temple, which is called Beautiful. Having spent quite a bit of time in Central America, it's a real common occasion to see